The upcoming Spotlight Cash card, as of recording this, is none other than Khonshu. Okay, Khonshu is joined by Corvus Glaive and Scorn as the option. Now, Corvus Glaive makes a lot of sense. Corvus Glaive is kind of a niche card inside of this card at the moment, but I feel like with Khonshu, which we'll go over the abilities of in a moment, yes, abilities, but I feel like with Khonshu, he'll become more of a meta bringer, and Scorn was one of those archetype defining cards for this card. So that we'll be interested to see if Khonshu is. So let's get started with Khonshu, okay? Let's go with the first form. Yes, the first form. Okay. When discarded, return in its next phase. And then it's, of course, on reveal effect is resurrect a card you discarded to another location with its power set to 5. Now, we have this for his first thing is a 6/5, okay? Doesn't seem very impressive. This is his first form, though. We're going to go to his second form and read it, okay? His second form says, when discarded, return in its final phase. On reveal, resurrect a card you discarded to another location with its power set to 8. So, if I'm reading these or understanding these correctly, then, well, first of all, they're like phases of the moon, as you can see on the art, but it seems like each of them have an on reveal effect. So, like, worst case scenario, if they get summoned, it's not the end of the world. But ideally, you'd like them to return to your hand. I'm picturing like a weird type bar with no name scenario if you can somehow cheat out it early, because this form is still a 6/8, which the last one was a 6/5. But let's go on to the final form, okay? Which is on reveal, resurrect a card you discarded to another location with its power set to 12. So that's interesting because of the fact that I don't know if game purposes, I don't know if this card counts as each of these cards count as 3 individual cards, or do they just like transform? You know, like a transform card in, say, I think Magic the Gathering had transformed cards, and you know, basically they're the card that after you meet a certain criteria, they transform. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening here, but as you can see, his final form is a 6/12. And the on reveal is resurrect the card you discarded to another location with its power set to 12. Now, interesting enough, this I feel like is going to be good for Holodex, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Because Hela got nerfed And so she had that restriction where she can only revive but so many. And all of the forms of Khonshu are 6 power, so yeah, she could technically resurrect any of the form. But with that said, if you're discarding Iron Man, for example, and even the weakest form revives and, resurrects Iron Man to be 5, then that's just fine. If it resurrects Iron Man to be 12, that's even better, because Iron Man being 5 power means Iron Man had 10 power, or rather, effectively 10 power a lane, 12 power, 24 power lane just on his own. That means in theory, Iron Man could solo a lane with Khonshu's help on it. Like, the that's pretty crazy to think about. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not usually the biggest fan of the discard meta, so Khonshu bringing back the discard meta. I mean, we already get Hella every so often, but now I feel like it's gonna be Hella non-stop. After this, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if he'd better in an Apocalypse deck or a Hella deck. Probably an Apocalypse deck, but maybe a Hella deck. We shall see. We will have to see. So, actually, that will be interesting. Now, Khonshu, I'll be honest, I started liking the character Khonshu a little bit after Moon Knight, the series, the Disney Plus series. I did like that. It ended on a cliffhanger. It sucks that it didn't get renewed for a second season. I guess it didn't do get that good in its demographic, but honestly, I would have enjoyed that quite a bit, if I'm being perfectly honest. So, yeah, there is that. The Khonshu. Now, Khonshu is interesting. Like I said, each of the things you're still getting some kind of benefit, so it's not like literally if the opponent pulls him out, you're screwed or anything. As long as you've discarded at least one card, you will resurrect it with its power set to 5, 8, and 12 respectively. Now, with that said, you probably would want a Luke in this deck, right? I imagine. I only say that because there's always a chance that Khonshu could resurrect a 12 power card or even a 20 power card and set it to 5. So, yeah, in that situation, I feel like you'd want a Luke to undo any of those shenanigans. But yeah, I feel like the meta's going to be filled with discard and cosmos for days when the card comes out. So we would see. Does discard need more support? Probably not. Is discard getting more support? Yes. I wonder if that type could potentially replace Hela altogether, though. I mean, do you think that a chance that people would prefer Khonshu to Hela? Like, I was trying to think what card to slot out, for Khonshu in the Hela deck. But then maybe Hela is the card. And if you put Khonshu in the Apocalypse deck, maybe Apocalypse is who you slot out for Khonshu. So yeah, that's interesting, I suppose. Yeah. Wait, does that mean we just don't do bullseye decks anymore? Is that a thing of the past? Ah, bullseye, the perfect slot out card. Okay, I see. I see the errors of my ways now. Okay. Well, let me know your thoughts, comment section below. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the future. Later.